Okay, describe or draw a sketch of each type of function. So the first one, when you see this absolute value functions take the shape of V's, like this. So a function like this is you're taking the absolute value of a number and then you're subtracting 8. So you can make a table. So if you're not sure how to start out, you can always make a function table. So if you have value x is your input, what is f of x going to be? So I always plug in -2, -1, 0, 1, 2. Plug in some negatives, plug in some positives, plug in 0. So if you plug in -2, the absolute value of -2 is 2. 2 minus 8 is -6. If you plug in -1, the absolute value of -1 is 1. 1 minus 8 is -7. If you plug in 0, you're going to get -8. If you plug in 1, you're going to get -7. And this one's going to be -6. So if you plot it, they take the shape of a linear function, in that this is a constant decrease and this turns into a constant increase. It's a straight line. So it's going to make a V. So when you plot it, what happens is this is a normal absolute value function of V, just like this. Because in front of here is positive, it's going to open up. If it were negative, it would open down. And this is the y-intercept. It's going down 8. So I'm going to go down to 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And it's going to go up. Up 1, right 1, up 1, right 1, up 1, right 1. But I'm just doing a sketch. So the y-intercept is 0, -8. And it's going to cross at the x-intercepts are 8, 0 and -8, 0. Those are the x-intercepts. So if there's an absolute value function and there's a constant on the outside, this constant is shifting it up or down. So contrast that with this one. This time, the absolute value, or the constant, is on the inside of the absolute value. So to figure out how that changes, to determine how that changes, what you want to do is you can make a table if you're not sure. So x, y, plug in -2, -1, 0, 1, 2. So -2 minus 7, absolute value of -9 is 9. -1 minus 7, absolute value of -8 is 8. 0 minus 7 is -7, the absolute value of -7 is 7. 1 minus 7 is -6. Absolute value of that is 6. Okay, I'm not seeing, you can tell the other one there was a pattern, kind of like a parabola where these repeat. What's going to happen with this one is that it's going to be a V that opens up because this number is positive right here, but this is going to be shifted to the right 7 units. So I'm going to shift over 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Right here. So the y-intercept is at 0, 7. The x-intercept, where it crosses the x-axis, is at 7, 0. And the slope is constant. So we couldn't see it with our part of the graph. If we just graphed this and didn't know this was an absolute value, we would just make a line. That's why it's important to know the general shapes of functions. So right here, this is a y is greater than or equal to -2. So this is also going to be a line. So if you have y equals a number, you're going to have a horizontal line with a slope of 0. If you have x equals a number, it's going to be a vertical line with a slope that's undefined. So in this case, I have an inequality, and greater than or equal to or less than or equal to is going to be a solid line. So I'm going to go on the y-axis down to 2, -2, and make a solid line. And I'm going to shade above the line. And there's my answer. 43 is also a graphing inequality. So the 3 is my slope, and the 1 is my y-intercept. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to start at 1, and I'm going to go 1, 2, 3, right 1. 1, 2, 3, down 1. It's going to be a dashed line. And I'm going to shade less than, because this is less than. And it doesn't have a line underneath, so it needs to be dashed. So if it's less than or equal to or greater than or equal to, it's dashed. And then down here is another inequality. So for inequality, I'm going to solve for y. So I'm going to subtract 4x. This cancels out, and then I'm going to divide both sides by 3. So it's y is less than 2/3 minus 4/3 x. So it's a line with the y-intercept is 2/3. So if this is 1, 2/3 would be right here. And a slope of -4/3. So I'm going to go down 4 off my chart and then right 3. If you had graph paper, you could be more exact. So this symbol means less than, so it needs to be a dashed line. So I'm going to make a dashed line and shade less than underneath it. So if you think of somebody on top of this ladder, less than is underneath the ladder. And then number 30, you want to start at 3, 1, 2, 3. It's not an inequality, so it's going to be a solid line. And you're going to go down 2 and then right 5. It's just going to be a regular solid line. You don't have to shade because it's not an inequality.